Hey everybody, good morning. Hope you had a good weekend. Welcome to the Monday Morning Call. This is Mike Castleneck, and as always, this is a great time for you guys to ask questions, make comments, tell us what's going well, tell us if you've got some hurdles to overcome, and everybody always benefits from those kind of comments. So if we have any of those, that would be great. Also, if we could get somebody to volunteer to be my sounding board this morning, that would be terrific too. So again, for those of you that have not or haven't been involved in the call when we've done this, I usually ask one or two people to be on live if you've got a headset or if you're calling on a phone, and that I can bounce questions off you, get your comments as we go through the presentation. That really helps, I think, make it better for everybody involved. So, Missy, if we've got some hands for questions or anybody who's volunteering to help out.
Sure. I've got Michael actually asked a question. Can the people taking reservations for the events ask if the peeps, I love that, the people have any money? So
Missy, that's more of a question for you.
I think that's a rough question to have the RSVP service to ask, mostly just because you don't have a lot of control over what that answer is. And I don't think that that's a question that they're going to get into, want to get into with any depth.
I would agree, because first of all, this is a group that are probably getting paid $10 an hour, and they're taking reservations just not for you, but for everybody. And you don't know which. If you let me just ask you guys a question. If you have a group of say 30 people taking reservation, do you think they're all the? Mickey says not a good idea. They're not coming. Exactly, I agree with you totally, Mickey. Because if you have a group of 30 people, do you think all 30 are of equal ability on the call? You think that? You think all 30 of the equal ability? You think some of them are? I'll give you an example. Last night, I had a problem with my cable, and I called the first person, or my internet with using cable. I called the first person, and she couldn't get me off the phone fast enough. So, okay, problem fixed. See you. Have a good life. And it ended up the problem wasn't fixed. The second person spent 45 minutes on the phone with me. He says, "Well, I don't want you to get off the phone until we have this fixed." And then he went above and beyond and helped me fix something that wasn't even what I was calling about. And then he gave me free, he credited my account. He's having a rep come out for free, even though they're not supposed to come out. So, same people paid the same amount. One was unbelievably fantastic, and one just did their job. Now, I'll guarantee you, and Missy, would you say that we've had any complaints with the reservation service? They do their jobs very well, don't they?
Yeah, I think that they do a nice job.
But are all of them going to go above and beyond and really do a great job?
No.
When they're paid $10 an hour, guys. Do you think they're going to? Do you think most of? Now, some of them are going to do like this guy last night, go way above and beyond what they're paid for. So Michael's asking, well, how about simply stating the event is for people with liquid assets? Don't stop it, Michael. We've had this conversation. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. So, guys, what do I recommend? How do I recommend that you mail out? Do I mail out that you should have homes only? That you should put in incomes? That you should put in assets? Do I recommend you do any of that stuff, guys? No, I don't recommend that you do any of that. Why? First of all, I'll guarantee you that if I call for a reservation and somebody says this is only for people with $100,000 or more, guess what I'm doing, guys? What have I just decided instantaneously? What do you think I've decided? Anybody? Come on, and give me an answer. If I call up for a reservation, I think it's going to be a fun event, and we're going to have a good time, and the person says, oh, this is only for people with $100,000 or more, what do you think I'm going to do? And I have more than $100,000. I have significantly more than $100,000. What do you think I'm going to do, guys?
Run the other way.
Well, I would, Missy, and we're not getting anybody to answer that. I would run the other way. Why would I run the other way? What is the caller just, exactly, Dale, they just want my money. They just want my money, so I am done. Cancel my reservation. Goodbye. Do we want more people to come to see us or less people to come to see us? So you can have them say whatever you want in the reservation. Mickey points out, you can actually give them the script. And they'll say whatever you want. So, but don't do that. Because all you show is that I'm only talking to you, I'm only having this for one reason and one reason only. And as Dale said, I want your money. How many people are eager to go to an event like that? Two types of people. The 13% guys. Who makes up the 13%? Those two types of people. Who make those up? Who are those people? Who would be okay with going to an event where they know I'm going to try to get their money? Come on, let's see some answers. First of all, would people with no money, would they be willing to go to something like that? Hell yeah! Why would they be willing to go to that? Yeah, plate lickers, people with no money, and do-it-yourselfers. Are you going to get anybody else to go to that? So that's my long answer to don't do that stuff. Okay, so anybody raising their hand to be headphones to be willing to talk to me during the rest of this as we kind of go through it?
I don't have any volunteers, but we'd
Okay,
like
well,
one,
if anybody
guys.
raises their hand as we go through it. So,
Okay.
my pointer today is this. Investment News 3/19/12 pointed out that FINRA levies more fines in 2011 than ever before. And the biggest increase was in advertising. So the biggest increase in FINRA fines after setting a record year was in the advertising area. And here's where they've been zeroing in. FINRA has been zeroing in on inaccurate internal communication. More importantly, for example, firms are telling their representatives internally that products are not risky. FINRA is concerned that representatives will turn around and make these claims to investors. So the number, last year was the biggest year ever for FINRA fines, and the biggest increase was in advertising, and the biggest concern in advertising was the fact that firms are telling their representatives internally that products are not risky. Guys, does that sound like anything that may have happened, say, 4 years ago, 5 years ago?
And Mickey was nice enough to be willing to open up a line. So, Mickey, are you on?
Can you hear me, Mickey? So, guys, let's hear it. What does this sound like? For example, firms are telling representatives internally that their products are not risky. What does that sound like? Can I get some answers? Guys, what happened in 2007 and 2008? Yeah, Michael, exactly. What did they say? Well, the housing bubble, that's not what, well, kind of the other housing bubble. What were brokerages selling and telling their clients that they weren't risky?
And Justin's also volunteered, Mike, so I'm going to go ahead and unmute Justin's line here, okay?
Okay.
Justin,
me,
can
Justin?
you hear us okay?
Justin, can you hear us?
Oh, Justin, are you on a speakerphone? Yeah, we can't do that.
Yep.
You have to have a mic. Speakerphones will give us feedback like that. Secondary notes, and guys, what were they selling? They were repackaging what? Risky mortgages, and these were risky mortgages sold to what? People who shouldn't have had these mortgages in the first place. But what did all the brokerages tell their clients, or tell their representatives, who then told their clients? So what does this tell us? Did they learn, or are they doing the same thing? Steven's also volunteering, Missy.
There you go, Steve. Do you have a microphone?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Exactly right.
Perfect.
They're doing
Thank
the same
you.
thing that they did back then. So how can we use this information, Frederick? We can use it in the second meeting to point out that what? At any place that we want, when we start talking about the investments, we can kind of shake our head and say, you know, when the client's getting upset, we can shake our head and say what? Yeah, and you'd think that they would learn, but you know what? You know, do you know who FINRA is? Did you explain? It's the policing organization for the financial industry. And do you know what happened to fines last year? Do you think they went down or they went up? And whatever they say, well, yeah, they actually went up. And do you know what the number one thing that they were getting fined for? And they said, well, no, what? Brokerages telling their brokers that things were safe when they weren't actually safe. So when brokerages tell their brokers that things are safe, guess who the brokers then tell that things are safe to? Well, to their customers. Now, doesn't that sound like what happened 8 or 5 years ago in 2008, and they explained the bubble? And say, so did they learn anything or did they not learn anything in the last 5 years? Well, they didn't learn anything. So guess who's responsible for making sure that you're in a safe position? Your broker or who? No, we are. Exactly. And the only way you're going to know that you're safe is by what? Knowing things or not knowing things? Well, knowing things. And what are we doing today? Well, learning to know those things. Exactly. So it's just another little thing to twist to make sure they get that, hey, things have not changed. They're never going to change. And the industry is what? In their favor or against them? For them or against them? See, and I want to look like a knight in shining armor. I want to look like I'm the guy. I'm the guy pulling the curtain back on the wizard. Because what, Steve? You can hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So Steve, if I'm the guy who shows them all of the tricks that the industry does, what do they know about me?
They should make the assumption that you are not like everybody else.
Well,
they help them.
They almost have to make that assumption. Why? If I am a magician and I show you how you cut the lady in half, can I ever trick you with that again?
No.
So if I have shown you every single trick that the financial industry does, what do they assume about me? What can I not do?
Trick them.
Trick them, because I've already shown them how the tricks work, right?
Yep.
So that's what we're doing at that second meeting. Not only are we having them discover that their guy is taking advantage of them in a number of different ways, and that all of these quote-unquote mistakes the guy made put them in a worse position and the guy in a better position, so they make the assumption that, hey, this guy is doing this to screw me. But we also, at the same time, on a different track, are having them understand that I can't screw you because all the tricks he's doing, I'm showing you those tricks, so I can't do those tricks to you. So it's just another way of doing that. So does that make sense to everybody?
Yes.
Good. So let's go into what I really want to talk about today, because that's our pointer for the day.
And
So-
Mike, I also opened up Justin's line. So you've got two volunteers. You've got both Steve and Justin are open now.
Oh, super. Thank you, Justin. Okay, so guys, do we fish for whales and walleye in the same? I don't know. Do you, Justin and and Steve? I don't know if you have walleye where you live. Do you have walleye where you live? Or you know what a walleye is, right?
I don't.
Okay, Justin, you know what a walleye is?
I believe it's a small rabbit, right, Mike?
So that's my Minnesota roots coming out. So walleye is just like a bass or a small, and we're still getting feedback, Macy. We're gonna have to find out which one we're getting feedback from. But so it's like a normal sport fish. So it'd be like a bass or a northern pike or something like that you would get you'd fish for out of a boat at your local lake. Okay. So do you think who did we have to shut off there, Missy?
I had to turn off Justin. I'm going to see if he can
Okay,
turn
we're
his
still
volume down a little bit.
Okay. So Steve, do you think we fish for a sport fish at the local lake the same way as we fish for a whale? Oh, is Steven gone too?
We better not.
Okay, we better. Well, what's the difference? What's the difference between how we fish for a walleye and a whale? Well, first of all, with a local lake, now we don't always have luck, do we? But we pretty much know where the fish are. And you might not be. You're not a fisherman, are you, Steve? Well, he went away. So you both went away. So I'll just have to go without. So just let's skip it,
Okay.
Missy. We're having too many problems. We need to get through this.
Okay.
So, guys, when you're going down to your local lake, you pretty much know where the fish are. You go to the weed beds if you're fishing for bass. You'll look for. You can talk to any of the local fishermen that say, well, this is where the panfish hang out. You go to another. You say, well, I'm after bass. They'll point you to where the bass are. You know pretty much where the fish are. And you don't have to be nearly as patient. Most guys that go out, I mean, some days they'll have fantastic days. Sometimes days they won't have quite as good days. But you don't have to be quite as patient. You're going to get fish all the time. But with the whale, we're still getting feedback, Missy. Is that me or what?
Yep. Nope. I'm working through it.
Okay. So, but with a whale, the ocean is quite a big place, right? And they may have a general idea, but are we talking about square yards of where fish are, or square miles and tens of miles and hundreds of miles of where the whales are? The ocean is a big place. You don't know when you're going to get lucky, and that's my point with whales. People, that's, ties right back to the question we had earlier. Should we have our reservation people say only people with $100,000 can come to this? No, we shouldn't, because here's the thing. Big clients, you never know where your big clients are coming from. And if you just go after, and Jeff, you've been doing this with me for over 10 years. Are there any great marketing systems out there to get huge clients?
No. I mean, there's nothing that consistently gets big clients week in and week out.
Oh, that's what. So there are systems out that get big clients, right? But you said the word consistently. So what do you mean by that?
Well, you can't plan on those. Those are things that come once in a great while, and you have to have a system for landing them, but you're not going to get them. You're not going to get one a month or one a week or anything like that.
There's just and how many guys are constantly looking for that system?
Oh, a lot of guys are looking for that.
So here's the thing, guys. My system, the way I made almost $1 million a year, the way that I trained guys, a dozen guys to make $1 million a year, and hundreds of others to double and triple their income, is this: our bread and butter are guys with our clients with $100,000 to say $800,000 of investable assets. That's our bread and butter. That's the people who come to our events, who go through our system, etc. But I did have some whales. Do you think any of the whales came through that event? What do you think? Mickey says yes. What's some other guesses? Dale says yes. And I would tell you no. Frederick says no. My whales did not get. My client with $3 million did not come through the event. Now we've had some guys land clients with that big, haven't we, Jeff? But is that a normal thing?
No, that's unusual for somebody that large to go to a workshop.
Yeah, I mean that's we've had that happen, but it's certainly not typical. So my biggest client came to me from a referral, and my second biggest client came to me from a referral, and both of them were people who had sold their businesses and were looking for an advisor. And I started talking to my buddies in the industry, and guess who their biggest clients came from? People who'd either sold their businesses or a referral from a CPA or an attorney. That's where the biggest. I mean, when I'm talking about the $800,000 client, I'm talking about the $3 million, the $5 million, the $10 million client. One of my clients actually, one of my buddies, when I called him, said, funny you should ask. Just 6 months ago, the local waste service sold their business to the waste management, and came into my office with a $10 million check. I'd never met him before in my life. Came in with a $10 million check. By the end of that day, we had placed that money into accounts. So the best places to land whales are what? When somebody lands or sells their business, and we're going to go through this, sells their business and has a huge check, and then also when you get a referrals from a CPA and attorney. But those are those easy or hard to come by, guys?
Those are hard to come by and they're rare. Certainly nothing you can plan on.
Oh, who do we have on, Missy? Or who's
That's
talking?
Justin.
Hey, good. So now you sound perfect. No feedback. Excellent. Those are hard to come by. But I have had some buddies who have had that. Oh, we're still getting a lot of feedback. Are you doing something, Justin, like typing?
Are you typing, Justin?
No, I'm not. I'm sitting very still.
Oh, what does that sound? Okay, so I have had a buddy who did have excellent referrals from an attorney. Just so happened the attorney was his frat brother from college. Otherwise, if you're trying to get strange attorneys or attorneys that you mildly know, or even attorneys that are friends, is that an easy or hard thing to do, Justin?
Well, it's never been easy for me.
It's never been easy for anybody. And we've talked to people, and Mickey says tough. Exactly. It's a hard thing to do. But if we can do it, that's what we like to do. Our biggest clients come from either referrals from accountants or attorneys, or from small businesses when they're sold. That's where our big, and I'm not talking about the $800,000. I'm talking about the $3, $5, $10 million client. So we do have two systems that are set up to get these. But are these, do you think, systems, Justin, are things that we can set up so you can get one like once a month or once a week?
No, nothing you could plan on.
No, nothing you can plan on. That's the whole thing. That's the whole thing about the whales. We can't plan on these things. But the more you have these feelers out there, the more they start to happen. So landing a whale is lucky. But and Justin, you haven't been on for the whole time. You haven't heard me say this over and over and over again. Maybe the guys on the phone can say, guys, what is it about luck? What is the number one characteristic of luck? That all the studies that have been done in the last 5 years in the U.S. and in Great Britain, what is the number one characteristic of people who are lucky? Anybody? Activity, Ed says. Kind of. Almost, Ed. Dale says social. So let's combine the activity and social. Knowing a lot of people, Frederick, exactly. Knowing a lot of people. The more contacts you have, the luckier you are. So what do you think the referral system and the small business system is about, Justin?
It's about broadening your network.
Yeah, about having more contacts out there. Exactly right. So we have systems for both. We have the CPA and attorney system. We have the small business system. And now, so first of all, CPA and attorneys, we can refer to them all day long. And I used to refer to tons of accountants. I used to refer to tons of attorneys. And how many referrals do you think I got back, Justin?
Very few, if any.
Very few, if any. And for me, it was Zippo. So, and when I go to the attorney after I sent him 10 people over the year, and he probably made, geez, $20,000, $25,000 off of the referrals I sent them. And I went to him and said, hey, dude, I've sent you 10 referrals. You haven't sent me any back. Guess what he said to me? Any idea?
I would guess he promised about how he's planning on doing it.
Well, yeah, that would be one of the things he could say. What he's told me was that, well, Mike, most of my business comes to me from other financial advisors, so I really can't refer back to you, because if I do that, I'm risking ruining my relationship with all those other advisors. So then I would move to another attorney. And do you think it would be different the next year? It was the same thing over and over and over. They would never refer to me. CPAs wouldn't refer to me either. So why don't they refer? Well, accountants are a little bit different. Why do you think, Justin, accountants don't refer to us?
I found that accountants have trust issues, and they're a little territorial.
You're exactly right. They do not trust us. They do not trust us. And see, accountants really do care about their clients. And the last thing they want is their clients to get taken advantage of. And how do the accountants look at us, Justin, as professionals?
No, not as professionals.
No. How do they look at us?
Salesmen.
Salespeople that can't wait to get our hands on their clients' money. So accountants don't trust us. Now, there's a reason, though, that is different for attorneys. Why do you think attorneys don't refer to us?
I would say
Control, Ed says. Yeah, I think, Ed, you're on the right track. What do you think, Justin?
I was going to say trust again also. They are worrying about their clients.
It may be the case. I don't think it is. I don't have, obviously, the right answer here. I don't think that's the case. It may be the case. I think it's because they think they're better than us. See, accountants don't think they're better than us. They don't trust us. They look at the salespeople. But attorneys think they're experts on what? They're like doctors. What do attorneys think they're experts on?
Everything.
Everything. I don't care if it's car engines, to global warming, to medical procedures, to whatever. Guess what attorneys think they know more than? Everybody else. So there's reasons that they don't refer to us. But luckily, we're going to see that the fix to both of that is the same. And small businesses, again, my biggest clients, the clients that most of my, with a few exceptions where they got referrals from attorneys or CPAs, most of my buddies in the industry that have had huge clients, again, not the little, not the $800,000 client, but the $3, $5, $10, $15 million client, they all came from when they sold their businesses. But there are other small business programs out there, like trying to get in front of them to sell them a 401k, a retirement plan, or health insurance, etc., or to get in there and try to talk to them about their investments. But I find those are all really a lot of work for very little payoff. So I only want to be there when the small business sells their business, because that's when they have cash. Because while they're still operating, Justin, where's all their money?
Into their business.
Where's all their time?
Into their business.
Where's their focus? Their risk? It's all where?
Yeah, it's all right into their business.
So when we try to approach them, do they have any interest in what we have to offer?
I don't think so.
No, they don't. They have no interest in what we have to offer, because all their time, money, focus, and risk is in their business. So what can we offer them? Again, some guys try to get in here with 401ks, but that's a lot of work, because you spend a lot of time trying to sell it. When you finally do sell it, how much money are their employees putting into that 401k, Justin? Dribs and drabs.
Yeah, just a small portion of their.
And then you still have to go out and do the client, the client sign up, and then you're there to answer questions, and you're getting all sorts of maintenance issues, et cetera, and you're making what on that? Diddly-do. I don't want to talk to the business when they're operating. I want to talk to them when they've just sold their business for $5 million. Now, why do you think that would be a good client, Justin? Do they have a financial advisor?
Yeah, no, they don't. They've been working at their business all their life, so they're now they're all freed up. They've got a lot of free time, and
Yep.
and
Yeah.
it's opportune.
When you bring up they have a lot of free time, for the first time in their life, all the stress has been lifted off of them. How happy are they? They're happy.
Very.
This is the happiest they've been in their whole life. And if they ever had a check for $5 million in their hand before,
It's unlikely.
it's unlikely. So they, for the first time in their life, have this huge money in their hands, and how comfortable are they with investing that themselves? Not very. They've never had this kind of money in their hands before. They're saying, holy crap, this is my one and only shot. I've sold my business, so I have no more income coming in. I need to make sure that this thing works great. So they're looking for an advisor. They don't have an advisor, and they end up in your office. The problem is, how do you get them in your office? Well, we're going to talk about that today. So the solution for getting CPAs and attorneys to refer to you is the same as getting in front of small businesses when they sell their business, and we have systems for both. Both systems are based on the BEAST, and the BEAST was actually 5 principles of influence that Dr. Skinner, the father of behavioral psychology, came up with, and it's the 5 things that cause people to do things, the persuasion principles. One is bandwagon. What would you think bandwagon is about, Justin?
Momentum.
Yeah, it's momentum. The momentum is caused by, I don't want to be the first person out there doing something. I'm going to wait till somebody else tries it first. If it works for him, it'll work for me. It's consensus. Expertise is basically people believe in people that have expertise. Exchange means this. If I give you something, then I expect what?
Something in return.
Something in return. Scarcity, the more something's scarce, the more people want it. And then trust. And trust is based on 3 different things. One is consistency. And see, this is the big issue with trust. Being there over and over and over. Likability. We trust people we like. And specificity. The more specific you are, the more trustworthy you are. When a store says, everything on sale today, Justin, what's the likelihood that you think you're going to get a good deal there?
Not likely.
Not likely. But when they're specific, saying, all big screen TV sets are on sale until the Super Bowl for 50% off. Now, if you're looking for a TV, are you more likely to believe that? Trust that that's true.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's actionable. Yeah.
Yes. So these are the things that cause people to do things. Now, both the small business and the CPA attorney system are based on this. So let's walk through this. So I just want to talk to you first about the bandwagon. The idea is that if you try it first, I don't want to be the first one to try that thing. You try it first. If it works for you, then I'll do it. See, we're going to build on other people's past successes and the testimonials of others. That's what the bandwagon persuasion principle is about. The expertise principle is based on professionalism, industry knowledge, and admitting weakness first. And I'm going to explain how we do all these things. The exchange is based on you do it to me first, and I'll do it to you after you give it to me first. The scarcity is, what if he stops giving me this thing, or what if this thing is no longer available? Trust is based on, again, consistency, likability, and specificity. So what we do in our epidemic marketing, we have 2 systems. One is the CPA system, and one is the small business system. Now, if you're not from, anybody here familiar, anybody on the call using the CPA system right now? Can I see anybody type in whether you're using the system? CPA system? Anybody? Yes, Frederick. So, Fred, in the CPA system, what am I talking about in that newsletter? Am I talking about things that would apply to our current clients or prospects? Non-financial. Well, more specific, though. It is non-financial, and you're absolutely right, Frederick, but what does it pertain to? If we're talking to a CPA and attorney, guys, and we send them information, the same information we send to our prospects and our clients, then what are we telling the CPA and attorney? We're telling them that we look at them as a prospect or a client, which means that we don't look at them as what? If we're looking at them as a client and a prospect, what are we not looking at as a professional, Fred? Exactly. We're not looking at them as a professional. So guess what our when I write that newsletter for them, it's about what? Things that pertain to them and their clients. What I'm trying to do is give them information to make them look smart in front of their clients, give them information that will make them look more professional in front of their clients, give them information on how to make more money in their practice. Everything that I write in that CPA attorney letter is about them and their practice. It's about their concerns. Why do you think I want to talk about their concerns? Because guess what they're concerned about? Themselves. Looking smarter, making more money, getting more clients. Now, you just put it on your letterhead, guys, and it's only about 2 or 3 paragraphs, and that's all there is to it. That's all there is to it, but it's always about them and their concerns. I'm going to walk through how it pertains to the BEAST principles here in a second. Now let's talk about small business letter. Anybody here using a small business letter? You type in yes or no. Anybody using the small business letter? Oh, Fred is too. Thank you, Fred, for doing that. So in the small business letter, Fred, what are we talking about? We're talking about things that affect our clients and our prospects? No, we're talking about what? Their concerns. No, about them, Fred, exactly. We talk about their concerns. We talk about things that affect them. We talk about things on how to increase their business, how to decrease their taxes. I talk about how to decrease their merchant fees on their credit cards. I talk about free software that would help them make their lives easier and better as small business people. Because what I want to communicate to them in that letter is what? I get you as a small business person. So that when they finally do sell their business, because do we ever know, Justin, when they're going to sell their business?
We do not.
Do they put an ad in the paper saying, hey, we're selling our business?
No, they don't.
So the only time we find out they've sold their business is after it's what?
Sold.
Sold. So we have to be in front of them before they sell their business, not after they sell their business, because we'll never see it after they've sold their business. So this is just keeping us there so when they do sell their business, because we never know when they're going to sell their business, we're there. They think about us as the person they should talk to about what they should do with that money. Okay? So let's go through this. Based on what I just said, we send out this letter on our letterhead, 2 or 3 paragraphs for the CPA attorney, 2 or 3 paragraphs for the small business, and it's about them. It's all about them. So what the kind of stuff we're going to put in there, though, is about what? Others' past successes. So we're going to work into those, especially in the CPA attorney letter, that, hey, here's some things I've done for my clients. It's worked really well. You should try it with your clients. You should make sure your clients don't make these mistakes. You should make sure that your clients know about this. You should look at this the next time you talk to your client. So we're building on the fact that, hey, other people work with us, and they've had good successes. Okay? There's another way that we do this. So does anybody know the other way that with the CPA attorney letter, the other way that we're showing other people's past successes and the testimonials of others? How do we do that? Every time you bring on a new client, you should know two of their professionals' names. Which 2, guys? So, Justin, every time you bring on a client, you better know 2 of their professionals' names. Which 2 professionals?
CPA and their attorney.
Yep. So when you bring on a new client, what's the first thing you should do? Within a couple days of bringing that client on, I've written a letter that introduces you to that client's attorney and that client's CPA. Both of which is saying, hey, we now share a client. I want you to know I'm backing up everything that you say. I'm here to support you, and I want to build on the great things you've already done for this client. If you have any questions whatsoever, blah, blah, and the letter's available online, and you should go ahead and send that to them. So what happens, and I had this many times, I'd go in spurts. In 1 year, I may bring on 15 people with the same accountant. So out of the 100 clients I brought on, 15 had the same accountant. What would happen in the accountant's mind when they received 15 letters that year showing that all these people had chosen me as their financial advisor? What do you think is going on in their head, Justin?
He thinks that you're taking it pretty personally.
Yeah, and he's saying, hey, listen, this guy must have something going on because all of my clients, and my clients, these are the good clients, they're all moving to him. Over and over and over, and he always sends me this letter. He's always very professional. Guess how many other letters he's getting from financial advisors? Want to take a wild guess? So how much more professional do I look than every other one of his clients' advisors? A little bit more or a lot more?
Well, 100% more.
100% more. Because none of the so all of a sudden I'm building on that bandwagon. Hey, a lot of people are using this guy. This is a guy I should pay attention to. And we're going to get into how it ties into some of these other things that we deal with, which is professionalism, industry knowledge, and admitting weakness first. So professionalism, hey, if I'm sending them a letter every time I bring on a new client, and none of my other competitors are doing that, that adds to my professionalism. And then you'll notice in the content that I write for that letter every month, I'm showing that I am no lightweight when it comes to industry knowledge as it pertains to the financial industry and how the financial industry pertains to the tax industry and the legal industry. And then I'll always admit weakness first. I'll always say, you know, I had this problem with a client. This is how I fixed it. So why do you think admitting weakness first is helpful, Justin?
Well, I would think it would indicate that you're someone easy to deal with and probably could contribute to his team, his work.
Yeah, I think it's someone easy to deal with because you've admitted, hey, I've made a mistake. Here's how I fixed the mistake. Maybe you can learn from my mistake. Those are the kind of people we want to work with, not somebody who's a no. Hey, you should work with me because I'm so very, very smart. And especially when you're working with an accountant and attorney, is that kind of mentality going to work with those guys? Because every time you tell them you're smart, what are they going to say? What are they going to say, Justin?
They're going to be motivated to prove that they're smarter.
Yeah, they're going to say, I'm smarter. Exactly, Fred, that they are smarter. I don't want to get into that push me, pull you. So it's always very humble on how I present the information, okay? And then you first, here's the thing. I'm providing them information that's going to benefit them over and over and over. Same thing with a small business, over and over and over. And do I ever ask for anything back? Hey, and by the way, I have an annuity that has this kind of a rate of return. Hey, by the way, I have this great stock pick we should talk about. Do you think I ever do that in the newsletters, guys? Do you think I sell anything in the newsletter? Because if I try to sell something in the newsletter to the small business person or the CPA attorney, I've just defeated the exchange principle or the you scratch my back, I'll scratch your back principle. Because if I send them information and then say, by the way, you should buy something from me, what's just happened to the obligation that I built up? If I send a Christmas card to somebody with a pitch for a product, is it viewed as a Christmas card, Justin?
No, it's a solicitation.
It's a solicitation. See, but the funny thing is, they've proven over and over and over again, if I send out 100 Christmas cards to strangers that don't even know me, what percentage of them do you think will send me a Christmas card back? It's almost 50%. That's how strong the exchange principle is in our society. If I send a Christmas card to 100 strangers who don't even know me, I'm going to get 50% of them will send me a card back because they're thinking, oh my gosh, well, I don't know how I know this person, but they've bothered to send me a card. I better send them one back. But if there's a solicitation in that, how many do you think of that 100 would send us a Christmas card back? Zippo. So it's always about them, what concerns them, and it's always information and our thoughts about them and making their lives easier, more profitable. It's all about them. What if he stops? See, after a while, after they start getting these ideas over and over and over, they start to worry about what? What if this guy what? Stops sending me this information. And what we're building is trust. Because first of all, how often, Frederick, should you be sending out these newsletters? Frederick's typing his answers to me, so he's the one that said he's using it, so that's why I'm asking him. So Frederick, how often are you supposed to send it? Once a month. Guys, once a month, over and over and over. If you just send them out when you think about it, guess what's not being built? Consistency. And consistency is probably the number one thing that when it comes to trust. So Justin, let's say my teenage son wants to go to a concert. So he's 17 years old, wants to take an hour's drive with his buddies to a concert. And he says, hey, Dad, I want to go to this concert with my buddies. It's an hour away. And I'm going to say, well, no, I'm sorry you can't go because I don't think you're responsible yet enough. He goes, what do you mean I'm not responsible enough? And I said, listen, you haven't cleaned your room. Your mom and I have talked to you about just cleaning your room, mowing the lawn for the last 5 years. And we have to ask you, not once, not twice, three, we have to ask you over and over and over to do those things. And many times you don't even bother doing them then. You're not responsible enough to go to this concert. So I go to work that day, And guess what's gonna greet me when I get home that night, Justin?
Probably going to be a mowed lawn, clean bedroom, and a
Yep. And then he's going to
cup
say
of
what?
coffee.
And guess what he's going to say?
He's going to request
so?
for
Yeah.
what he wants.
Yeah. And what am I going to say? Oh, now you've proven you're responsible. Is that what I'm going to say?
No, you're going to ask to see it again.
And again, and again. The only way he's going to prove that he's trustworthy is if he's trustworthy when he needs something, or he's trustworthy all the time.
All the time.
All the time. So likability is the second thing. Hey, and we like people who make our lives easier. That's what these newsletters are about, making their lives easier. We like people who make our lives easier and aren't asking for something back. And specificity, every single newsletter is about a specific thing on how to make their life easier. Okay? So how do you put together now? So does anybody have any questions on how it works? Is it what we do is every single month on the epidemic portion of the website, there is all of the different newsletters, all the different emails, all the different drip pieces that I write every single month for you guys. And one of them is the CPA attorney drip, and one of them is the small business drip. All you're going to do is take out your letterhead and type those paragraphs on your letterhead and mail it out to them. Does anybody have any questions whatsoever on the system? Because that's all the system is. Now we're going to talk about how you put the list together here in a second, but does anybody understand the mechanics of how you would do that? Any questions?
Mike, real quick
Yeah.
question for you. What's your opinion of those letters being handwritten?
I think with these, in this particular case, I think with the small business person, an occasional handwritten letter is okay. With the CPA attorney, I think I would use that very sparingly. Because what we want to be able to do is, the reason I make it 2 or 3 paragraphs is so they can read it very, very rapidly. And I think your idea is fantastic, Justin. I'm a huge proponent of handwritten notes. I think it would be better if you printed them out and then put a little handwritten note, a 1 or 2 sentence handwritten note on there. Does that make sense? But a full handwritten note, I probably wouldn't do that for either of these, because time is the essence for a small business person, and time is the essence for CPA and attorney. We don't want them to start throwing those away. So I would actually print it out and put a handwritten note on there. And I'm a huge proponent, and thank you for bringing that up. I can't stress enough the handwritten, the power of a handwritten note. So I would just put it with a little note on there, and I probably even wouldn't do that monthly. I would use that on occasion so it actually would pop more. Does that make sense?
Mike, a couple of questions came in. Does email work as well? Can you use that letter and email it instead of hard mailing it?
Guys, guess how many emails a small business person or a CPA or attorney gets every single day? Well, I'll give you an example. I came in on Monday, and I had, I think, 75 emails. How quickly do you think it took me to get rid of those emails, Justin?
To go through each one, or to just delete them all?
I came in and I had 85 emails. How long do you think it was before I got to 0 emails?
Well, if you're reading them, probably an hour.
I did not say that. I said I had 85 emails. How long do you think it got me to get through to the 0 emails?
Probably 20 seconds.
About 20 seconds. And I took the 2 that I wanted to read, put them aside, and I'll read them later. Now, when I get mail, do you think that that's how fast I go through my mail? Guys,
No,
how much
no,
effort does it take you to do an email, Justin?
None. Very little.
So guess how much effort it takes me to delete an email?
Very little.
But when I send out a letter, how much effort does that take? Again, really, does it take a huge amount of effort? No, but does it take some effort, more effort than an email?
It takes more effort and it applies more effort.
Yeah. Well, can I ask you a question, Justin? Do you send all your Christmas cards via email?
No.
How do you send them?
Postage.
And why do you do that?
It's more personal and implies a relationship.
Okay, so why do you think that I send these newsletters via snail mail?
Same
Same
thing.
answer.
It implies a lot more.
It implies a lot more. More personal than it implies a relationship. So guys, don't take the easy way out. Because if you take the easy way out, the easier it is for you to do, the easier it is for them to negate what you actually did for them. So does that make sense, everybody? Any questions on that? Good questions. Don't do it. Any other questions on it?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. So how do you put the list together? Well, first of all, Justin, what did I say? As soon as you get a new client, what should you be doing automatically?
Sending out a letter explaining the new common relationship.
Yep, to who?
The CPA and the attorney.
Yep. So guys, Jeff, I've been yapping about this for how long?
Oh, you've been talking about sending letters out to CPAs and attorneys for years.
And how many people actually ever take the time to listen to what I say here and actually follow through with this?
Not
The
very
percentage of my guys.
many.
Yeah, we don't know the exact
Less than
percentage.
a quarter.
Yeah, it's less than a quarter. Guys, don't be an idiot. If you ever want a CPA and attorney to refer to you, you need to do this. This is more important than referring people out to them. For all the reasons I talked about, all those BEAST principles. As soon as you get a new client, their CPA and their attorney should receive that intro letter that's on our site that you can use. Missy, do you know where that is? I'm sure you're going to be getting questions on that.
Yep, it's underneath the epidemic marketing.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's broken out CPA attorney drip. And
Yeah,
just click on
that's
that.
right in
and
that
you'll-
system.
Yep, it's right in that category.
So it's called probably intro letter or something like that.
Yep, it's actually called New Client Introduction Letter.
Okay, so it's very easy to find, guys. You must do that. So that's the first place you want to send or create your list from is from your actual current clients and every new client you bring on. And then what you want to do is you want to look for small CPA firms and small attorney firms and start to send out to them. So how many should you send those out to, or how many of those should be on your list, Justin?
As many as clients as you've got on your file.
Yep, as many as clients on the file, and then you also want to go and grow your list even more than that. I would encourage you to send it out to every other attorney. So absolutely 100% of your clients, CPAs, and attorneys should be on there. But I would actually go and look for also all other accounting firms that are small accounting tax prep firms, and also small attorney firms. I don't want any big attorney firms, but small attorney firms. I want that list to be as big as possible because it only costs me about 50 cents to mail this out every single month. And it's almost as hard to mail out one as it is to mail out 100. It probably takes you an extra, 10 minutes to mail out 100 as it does to mail out one, because it's just one sheet of paper into an envelope and it goes away. Have your kid or your a retired client come in and do it once a month, all your drip marketing once a month. It should only take them about 3 or 4 hours to do all, not just this, but all of the epidemic marketing. So your list should be as big as possible. Just go to the yellow pages and grow it right through, or put together right through there. So that's a very easy thing. The small business is a little bit more difficult. Because what do you think the type of small business I'm looking for, Justin? Do I want a corporation? Do I want to be dripping on a corporation?
I wouldn't think
No.
a multi-employee sophisticated corporation, no.
No. Well, a multi-employee, yeah, absolutely I would. But not a corporation because corporations, are they sold for cash? Not generally. I mean, when I talk about corporation, I'm not talking about a C Corp guys like a small business person who's put their. I'm talking about a non-family owned business. Do I want to be dripping on a non-family owned business? No. So who I'm going to use, or the way I'm going to put together my list for small business system is small businesses owned by families or individuals, or partnerships of individuals. Because those are the ones that when they sell, they get cash. So how do I find out which small businesses are owned by families? Well, the first thing I'd recommend you do is join the Chamber of Commerce. That's a great place to start. You're going to start, and then I would recommend that you start going to some of those, what do they call those, meet and greets or whatever that they have once a month, and start putting together a list that way, and then start to ask everybody you know that owns a business who else they know that owns businesses owned by families. And put your business together, put your system together that way, or your list together that way. And again, it's the same thing. Guess how many small businesses I'm on that list? As many as possible. But it's not. There's not really a place that you can go and find the list of all the small businesses owned by families. You're going to have to kind of do that one and grow that list slowly but surely every single month. Everybody I know that owns a business, I'm going to be asking them. I'm going to join the Chamber of Commerce. I'm going to pick their brain for small business or small businesses owned by families and grow it that way. Ask your accountants, ask your attorneys. who they know that a small business is owned by families. So you're going to just have to grow that list from the ground up, from the grassroots up. That's how you put together those lists. Guys, these are the lists that you're going to get whales. So do you think you're going to get, Justin, you think you're going to get a referral from these systems every single Friday? Justin left us. So guys, you answer this, guys. Is this the kind of systems that you're going to get one every single month or every single week, guys? Nope, that's right, Mickey. These are the kind of systems where you make your own luck. The good thing is when you get a client from one of these, how sold are they when they come to see you? When you get a call, yeah, they're already pre-sold. And here's the thing. Small businesses for sure. Guess how big that client's going to be?
It's going to be a large client.
Big. It's going to be a large client. CPA attorneys, generally, you could give you all sorts of clients, but they're also going to be the place where you can find the big clients, okay? So this is just another way to make your luck. The more of these types of things, and actually, not next month, but within the next 4 weeks, I'm going to actually kind of lay out everything that you should be doing in the summer to make sure that you're making your own luck in the summer when events are though still profitable, not as profitable as they've been just as we went the season we went through, and also during September and October. So I'm going to give you a whole series of things you should be doing in the summer, making sure all of these things are in place. These are two of those things that you should be doing on a regular basis, not because they're going to make you money next month, but because when they make you money, they could make your whole year. Guys, getting one client for $5 million. One client for $5 million. Could that make your year? It could double your year, couldn't it? For some of you, it could triple your year. And for others, it'll give you a 50% increase. So, but even a 50% increase in your income for the year, is that a small or a big thing? That's a big thing. So even if you only get one from using these things a year, is it worth it? And here's the thing. If you do this year in and year out, one this year turns into two next year, it turns into four the next year, turns into, this can take over as your marketing 3 or 4 or 5 years from now for only big clients. But can you just snap your fingers and make this happen next month? No. This is something that you have to grow from the bottom up, and you have to make your own luck. But as we talk about this over and over and over again, successful people do what? Unsuccessful what? Refuse to do. And as Jeff said, I've been harping about this for the last 7, 8 years, and probably a quarter of the guys that have been harping to have used this system. And isn't it interesting that the top 20% of the people that I work with, the ones that have doubled, tripled, and quadrupled, and I don't know what you say, but their income's gone up tenfold, that's 20% of the guys. 80% of them, income went up by maybe 5, 10, 15, 20%, but didn't double, triple, or go up tenfold. And guess what the 20% were doing? They were doing the things that the other 80% refused to do. Guys, how hard is this to do? Get going on these systems right away. It only takes you, for these two systems, it only takes you, once you've got them set up, probably about 15, 20 minutes a month to do them. If you have an assistant, guess how long it takes you? You don't even know what's happening. They just do it for you. So, get going on these systems. So, by the way, printers and graphics firms are very valuable as referral and Frederick, you're exactly right. So he brings up, by the way, printers and graphics firms are very valuable for referral information sources. They're a great place to ask who are family-owned businesses in town. They'd be a fantastic place to start. So thank you, Frederick. So, any questions on this, guys? Any reason you see, any reasons why you should not move forward with these two particular systems? Is it too much work to spend 20 minutes a month to do this? Is getting one big client a year worthwhile doing this? And pretty soon, the movers and shakers in town are going to know who you are. Is that a good thing or a bad thing, guys? And are they going to know you as a salesperson, or are they going to know you as a rich resource who puts their concerns before your own? Guys, I could spend hours on this, on why this makes sense for you to put these things in place. Okay? So any other questions? Let's see. We have any particular types of attorneys? No, I mean any type of attorney, as long as it's a small office, not a big, with all sorts of partners, etc. So any type of attorney. I would work for estate planning attorneys. What do you call it? What are the ambulance chasers called? Personal injury attorneys. It would work for. Tax attorneys. No, it would work as long as it's a small office place.
And what about
Michael Peterson brings up, what about business brokers? Yeah, if you can find a business, not all towns have business brokers, but you live in a town that has business brokers, yeah, it's a fantastic resource if you can get them to refer to you. I find that a lot of business brokers have what, though? They already have referral sources, but if they don't, yeah, that'd be a fantastic way, Michael, to get in there and work with them. And Missy, you were trying to say something?
Oh, that was the only question I wanted to make sure we asked or answered.
Super. Anything else, guys, before I let you go? And Justin, thank you very much for helping out today, and Mickey, thanks for offering here earlier. So, guys, every single week, think about getting a headset so you can be help me out on these calls, so we can kind of rotate people through. So, any other questions, guys? Was this an okay call? Can I get some answers?
Good call, Mike. Thanks a lot, man.
Thank you, Justin. See ya. Great, super, Fred. Thank you. And so this is the kind of thing, guys, that you're gonna just wonder. I don't know where this client came out of, and your buddies are going to say, well, you're just lucky. But you're going to make your own luck by having all of this stuff going on at one time. And I'll just leave you with one quote that, or one little story that of one of our biggest producers. This guy is doing, he does every type of marketing that I recommend that he does. So he's doing like 7 different marketing things. And he said, Mike, I have to tell you that your marketing is average at best. And I said, oh, thanks a lot, Frank. He goes, yeah, but let me tell you, I'm making more money than I've ever made using it. And I said, why are you saying it's average? Because, all of your stuff works so-so. With the exception of the events, the event works great. But all your other stuff, it works so-so. But he says, when I'm doing 7 of your so-so things, I am swimming in clients. I have clients coming in to see me all the time, new prospects all the time, because all of the things that you're doing are all generating prospects on a regular basis, and when they combine, I'm seeing more business than I've ever seen before. So that's the magic of having all these things, as long as it's not taking all day long to do, and these things don't take you all day long to do, guys. Just have these things floating out there constantly, and you'll be amazed at how lucky you become over the year. Yes, the event brings in people, chop, chop, closes cases, chop, chop. Every single month you can have an additional $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 of income coming in. But it's these big ones that really make your year, and they don't come in every single month. You don't know where they're going to come from. You don't know when they're going to come, but they do come when you're doing these things, and they will not come guaranteed if you're not doing these things. Make sense? Super. Then any questions before I let you go, guys? Going once? Going twice? Super. Then everybody have a great week, and we will talk to you next Monday. Thanks, guys.